I found out by accident. Just another routine check of my bank app. Something I did every week. A small habit to keep my mind at ease. But that morning, everything changed. Years of saving, extra shifts, missed nights out, quiet sacrifices. All for a future I was slowly building. It wasn't much, but it was mine. Then I saw it. A $3,000 withdrawal. My stomach flipped. I hadn't touched that account in months. My heart pounded as I tapped the transaction, hoping, praying it was a glitch. But the label said it all, external transfer. A chill crept up my spine. Someone had taken my money. I dug deeper, checking the linked accounts. And there it was, my parents' names. I called my mom. She answered like nothing was wrong. "Hey, sweetie, what's up?" I swallowed hard, steadying my voice. "Mom, did you take money from my savings account?" A pause, then casually, "Oh, you saw that?" My grip tightened on the phone until my fingers throbbed. "So it was you?" "It's not a big deal," she said quickly. "We just needed to borrow some for your brother's trip." My brain stopped. "Pay what?" "Jason's trip," she repeated, like I should already know. "He and his friends are going to Thailand. He was short on money, so we figured." "You figured you could steal from me," she scoffed. "Oh, don't be so dramatic. It was just sitting there." I couldn't breathe for a second. Just sitting there, like it was loose change, not years of grinding and grit. "When were you going to tell me?" I finally asked. "We weren't going to take much," she said. "Just enough to help him out. We thought we'd have it back before you even noticed." I let out a sharp, bitter laugh. "Yeah." "And when exactly were you planning to pay it back?" I asked. A pause. Then vaguely, "Soon. Your father's getting a work bonus." I cut in, voice sharper now. "You took $3,000 and didn't think I'd notice?" Her tone shifted, prickling with irritation. "Well, it's not like you needed it right now. You're always saving, always tucking money away for the future. What about your family? What about your brother?" My jaw clenched. Jason is 25. If he can't afford a vacation, maybe he shouldn't be going. Her voice snapped. "Don't talk about your brother like that. He works hard." I almost laughed, hollow and bitter. Works hard. Jason had never had to work for anything. I was the one with a job at 16, the one who scraped and saved, who paid my own tuition, who counted coins while he burned bills. And now he was taking from me too? I pushed the anger down, made my voice clear. "Put it back." "Excuse me. I want it back, now." Her tone went cold. "I don't appreciate how you're speaking to me." My hands trembled. "And I don't appreciate being robbed." She sighed, sharp and dismissive. "We'll put it back, okay? Just give us a little time. You don't need to make such a big deal out of this." A little time, like I was supposed to trust them now. I took a slow, steady breath. "If I see even one more dollar missing, I'm locking it down." Her voice bristled. "You don't need to threaten us." "I shouldn't have to," I hung up. That night, I moved every last cent to a new account. One with only my name, but deep down, I knew this wasn't over. Not with them. People like my parents. They always come back when they need more, and I should have seen it coming. This wasn't the first time they helped themselves to something that wasn't theirs. It was just the first time it belonged to me. Growing up, the rules were always different. One set for me, another for Jason. I had to earn every little thing. Want new cloth if I wanted to go on a school trip? I saved. If I needed spending money, I earned it. But Jason, he just had to ask. And the worst part? They always gave it to him. I remember being 16, wiping tables at a diner after school, scraping together every tip to buy a beat-up car that rattled when it ran. Meanwhile, Jason got a brand new one for his 18th birthday, handed over with a smile and a bow. I remember struggling to afford my college textbooks, counting coins at the register, while Jason dropped out twice without consequence. And through it all, Mom would say, "You're just more responsible than he is." Back then, I took it as a compliment. Now I know what it really meant. You don't need help, but Jason does. You don't deserve support, but Jason does. We will always choose him over you. I should have known my savings were never safe. I started building that account right after college. No lavish life, just careful budgets, skipped vacations, home-cooked meals, every spare cent tucked away. Because I had a plan. I was going to buy a house, A place of my own. No landlords, no roommates, no asking anyone for anything. Just me and the quiet promise of stability. I never told my parents the full amount I'd saved, but they knew I was putting money aside, and that was enough. Because to them, my savings weren't a goal. They were a stash, just extra money waiting to be used. They saw it, they wanted it, so they took it. Why not? I was the responsible one. And Jason? Jason had a vacation to go on. I thought moving my money into a new account would be the end of it. I was wrong. At first, everything went still. No more calls, no more excuses. I figured they'd gotten the message when they realized they couldn't touch my savings anymore. But a few months later, my phone lit up. Dad's name. I almost let it ring out. Almost. But something in me said answer. "Hey kiddo," he said, voice too light, too practiced. "How's work?" I didn't bother with the pleasantries. "What do you need, Dad?" He sighed. Babysit for them." "Listen," he began. "Your mom and I are in a bit of a situation. Nothing serious, just we need a little help." My stomach dropped. I stayed silent, let him fill the air. "You know how things have been tight," he continued. "Your mom's credit cards are a little backed up, and Jason's been going through a rough patch. We just need some breathing room. Nothing crazy." My teeth clenched. "How much?" "A couple thousand," he said quickly. Like speeding past the number would make it easier to swallow. I almost laughed. They had already taken $3,000 without asking. Now they were asking, but only because they had no other choice. "What happened to paying me back?" I asked, voice steady, though my hands trembled. A pause, then another sigh. "Sophie, don't be like that." "Like what?" "Selfish." The word landed like a slap. I closed my eyes, pulled in a sharp breath. This was always the pattern. They never asked. They expected. And if I didn't give in, I was the one in the wrong. I exhaled slowly. "I'm not giving you more money." Silence. Then his voice darkened, laced with quiet threat. "Sophie, we're family. Families help each other." I bit back the fire rising in my chest. "You're right," I said. "Families help each other." A beat. Tension crackling on the line. "Then tell me, when have you ever helped me?" I could almost hear his jaw tighten. "That's not fair," I laughed, low and bitter. "Isn't it?" More silence. Then his voice turned cold. "No more pretending. I don't know what's gotten into you. We raised you. We gave you everything. And now, when we need you, you're just going to turn your back on us?" I stared at the wall, my grip tightening on the phone. They didn't see me as a daughter. They saw me as an ATM. I took one last breath. "I'll think about it." And before he could say another word, I hung up. This time, I didn't feel guilty.